offered their children as sacrifices. Worshippers of Moloch believed that sacrificing their sons and daughters would guarantee prosperity and protection. They built shrines and raised bronze statues with outstretched arms, where children were laid into fires, convinced this act would please Moloch and bring blessings to their households. But God, horrified by the cruelty of these sacrifices, condemned the worship of Moloch as one of the gravest evils. Through Moses and later prophets, he commanded the Israelites never to take part in these practices, warning that such idolatry would bring destruction. When some Israelites still continued, God's judgment came swiftly. Famines and droughts swept through the land and enemy nations rose against them. It was a harsh judgment, intended that they were to worship God alone, and that he would not tolerate the shedding of innocent blood.
All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, taught us his truth and sincerity. Also give peace and blessings to you elect out there that's pushing his truth to the four corners of the globe. To you, I say Shalom. And also two salutations to you hopeful elect out there that's listening, that's tuning in and getting this knowledge while yet being in this grace period. So as you can see, I want to really tie the abortion clinics to the practices of Moloch. And I'm going to pull up some articles. Of course, I have them right here. I just did a quick Google search, the correlation between Moloch and Plant Parenthood. And when you read up on this, or when you try to break down the reasoning behind abortion, it's usually it comes off as my body, my choice, or body liberation, for a woman to have some type of freedom as far as relinquishing her responsibilities as raising a child. You know, she'll sacrifice that child for freedom to move about in this world. You know, so there's a selfish reason behind it. There's a fleshly, selfish reason, right? And I'm just going to pull up a couple of articles, read into it a little bit, and then pull out a couple of scriptures. All right, it says, Moloch, Plant Parenthood, let's see. It says, everything had to be carefully prepared. The attendants laid fuel for the fire, and the reward, facing health of the hollow life sees bronze figure. The musicians began softly building intensely and volume as the fire grew hotter and the statue began to glow. The worshippers, having already made lesser offerings in the first 6 chapels. All right, now I'm gonna jump down a little bit. Well, no, I'll just keep reading. It says, entered the 7th chapel, and the mind-numbing thunder of pounding drums and clashing cymbals, and a now red-hot bronze for a man with a head of a bull seated on the throne with blazing arms outstretched to receive their infant sacrifices. Welcome to the 15th century BC worship of Moloch, where the cries of victims were swallowed up by the Salakia. My reading is sometimes not on point. It says Symphony of the Celebration. It says I paint that ancient picture to remind you that no one should be surprised by what we are seeing in the video. Expose of Plant Parenthood baby parts for dollars enterprise. In the first place, syndicated colonist Moena Charon reported on this practice as far back as 1999. But more importantly, human nature has not changed. Okay? So as Moloch mentioned in Leviticus 18 and 20 was one of the lowercase g gods of the people who occupied the land before Israel came in. Right? Because that land was the land of Canaan. All right? It says, from an ancient Near Eastern perspective, the local deities held the franchise on prosperity. If you lived in Egypt, you needed to know the Egyptian gods. And then, we go into those. All right. It said you needed to know the Canaanite gods. They held the keys. If you were inclined to forget the real power to your prosperity, your physical health and well-being, when you came right down to it, idolatry was economically driven. Now, that's important. All right. It says, now put yourselves in the 21st century shoes of a young unmarried woman. Now, here's the point. So, I like this part of the article because it brings out a perspective from a woman. You're putting yourself in the shoes of a young woman, and these some of the things that are ideas that are in this article are true. Okay, so let's get into it. It says, now put yourself in the 21st century shoes of a young woman, unmarried woman. She lives in a culture that prides itself on sexual freedom and expression. Now, we speak for the Israelite community, which consists of Native Americans, Latinos, and so-called Negroes. All right, so a lot of our women are being sexualized. Like a lot of our women are being taught to be modern day prostitutes. While meanwhile, the men are taught to be soft, coddled, weak, less of a man, right? Boys. All right. Just 7 years ago, drill music was the thing. Or for the last 20 years, drill music was being pushed. Now it's a different vibration. It's a feminine, gay vibration that's being pushed in the males. But anyway, we're speaking upon the females. So like the article says, sexual freedom and expression is really a must. And then when you look at this election too, just look at the election. Look who, if you know anything about Kamala Harris, you would know or understand how she came up, right? How she rose to her power right now to be in this position. You would hear allegations of her really prostituting herself off allegedly. Now, when you look at her election or her campaign for that matter, look who she's ushering in. You had Cardi B, you had Megan Thee Stallion, you had Beyonce, you had what's her name? Lisa Lopez, J-Lo. Now, there's a history with J-Lo. She was a hoe back in the day. Everybody know Cardi B was a hoe. She worked in a strip club. She drugged dudes, fucked them, and took their money. I'm like we know these things. Look what Megan Thee Stallion represents. So there's a vibration that comes with that. Most feminists or women that hate men, or they fall under the Kamala Harris umbrella. Now, men of the Lord, we don't choose sides. We don't choose Trump. We don't choose. We're not voting. You know, we're not putting our trust in that. But it's just, it would be wise to just pay attention to what's going on around you as you're supposed to. As the scriptures say, you know, be upon your watch, right? Discern the times that are going on, because you know we're in evil times. So anyway, you know, just if you paying attention to the campaign, like I said, you will see that birds of a feather flock together. Let me get back to the article. It says, now put yourself in the 21st century shoes of a young woman, unmarried woman. She lives in a culture that prides itself in sexual freedom and expression. Her culture also increasingly flews on tradition, family, and motherhood, and urges women to find fulfillment in a professional career. So, you know, women nowadays, you have especially a lot of Jake women or so-called black women. They pride themselves on getting degrees and education over family values, you know. So traditionalism is going out the window. These women are out here pretty much chasing a bag and trying to better themselves as far as their careers. All right, it says in having money and things and freedom, right? So scriptures say give the water no passage, right? Don't give her a liberty to gather a bride. And it's speaking about a woman, you know, in Sirach chapter 25 and 26, you know, it goes in on the woman, on the Israelite woman. But anyway, you know, women find it a fulfillment in being fast. All right, you know, being hoes. Like this is a real thing now. Like it's accepted to be a hoe. You know, there's OnlyFans. You know, a lot of women are making this a professional career in selling box, all right, or selling the illusion, or just being outright sexual and flirtatious, right? That Jezebel spirit. So, you know, it's easy to get caught up in that. It's easy for women to get caught up in that. And then there's consequences that come with that, because, you know, you're having unprotected sex. You know, you're dealing with three to four different dudes, and they all busting it, you know, coming and whatnot. You know, we know how these things go. We're grown. So there comes, you know, that's how children are being made, right? So then to not take accountability and provide a loophole and a way out, that's when abortion comes in. All right, so let me keep reading. In having money and things and freedom, then she finds herself unexpectedly pregnant. She learns that the father of the child isn't interested in being a father. Now, you know, we can't blame the women 100%. We can blame them 90%, because a woman picks most time, unless it's done by force, but most times she picks the man that she lays down with, right? So our Israelite women have to really vet these men, because a lot of men just won't box. I mean, that's the reality of it. That's just what it is. So that's why you have to take your time and really vet the men, you know, and choose well, because women control who they open their legs up to. So, you know, it says here, she learns that the father of the child isn't interested in being a father. She will bear the parenting burden alone. Perhaps her parents won't help. She will bear the financial burden alone. She can afford to go to college, or she can't. No, Salaki, it's can. She can afford to go to college or raise a child, but not both. her economic chances are being constrained, or perhaps she is already in a professional career that one that will not make room for a child. What are her options? And here you go. It says, meanwhile, the high priestesses of choice chant, it's about your freedom. All right, and that's the cover up, right? That's the deception, right? That Esau pushes, because Esau, I think it was Margaret Sing. I forgot who created Plant Parenthood, but I remember studying it in college. But I think it's Margaret Sing. No, that's feminism. But anyway, through the eugenics program, they sought to create Planned Parenthood, and really it was created to sterilize Jake, right? And the same thing happened in Egypt. When the Israelite or the Pharaoh's soldiers came back and told Pharaoh, "Hey, the Israelites, they're very lively, right? They're procreating very fast, right? So we have to come up with a way to control the population so they don't overtake us." All right, this happened in the book of Exodus, in Torah. So anyway, and the same thing is happening now. It's the same exact thing, because nothing is new under the sun. Matter of fact, let's get it. Let me get that real quick. I just want to pull it up for edification purposes real quick. It's Ecclesiastes 1:9. It says, "The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." So the same thing that happened in Egypt is happening now. Pharaoh sought to kill the Israelite babies, right? Because he was scared of that prophecy. But anyway, damn, my dog stinks. Salakia, lost focus. Okay, it says, meanwhile, the high priestess of choice chant, it is your freedom, your body, your rights, and the drums of fear thunder louder in her ears, and the clinicians chime bells clash. It's only tissue, a simple procedure, over in a moment, adding to her confusion, drowning out the silent screams of the baby in her womb. All right, so this is a very realistic comparison to compare the practice of moloch and what we have, which is Planned Parenthood. It says the arms of Moloch wait in Planned Parenthood clinics all over America. And yes, they're all over America, but mainly they put these in the hoods. They put these in suburban areas, in the inner cities, in the slums, right down the street, probably from a church, and right next to a liquor store. All right, it says the only difference is that they figured out it's more financially advantageous to not incinerate the product, but to sell it. It says the question for us is, can this solution change? Pro-life leaders in Congress are proposing legislation to defund Planned Parenthood and hope they succeed only when hearts change. However, it says we will stop the abortion holocaust. So, all right, now let's get into some more scriptures. So, in the article, they mention Leviticus 18 and 20. So let's go to this real quick. Let's go to Leviticus 18 and 20. And it says, moreover, shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor. Hold on. Leviticus 18 and 20. Okay, yeah. Let me start at 21. It says, and thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass with the fire of Moloch, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am the Lord. All right. That's the Lord denouncing that shit and saying, hey, we not rocking with that. All right, now let's get some more. Let's get also too. It's also in Leviticus 20. I can start at verse 3. It says, and I will set my face against that man and will cut him off from among his people, because he have given of his seed unto Moloch to defile my sanctuary and to profane my holy name. All right, it says, and if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man when he giveth of his seed unto Moloch, and kill him not, and then, so the Lord's gonna punish those who don't if Israel was to not take care of this man who did such an act, or a woman, all right, for that matter. So now let's get some wisdom of Solomon real quick, because pretty much, in the video that I played, we know the depiction of Moloch. So yeah, we know the depiction. Let's get let's start. Okay, let's get wisdom of Solomon. I wrote a couple scriptures down as far as, when we jump it into wisdom of Solomon. Now, okay, yeah. Now I remember why I put this scripture down. So this is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 21. It says, such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. Now, first of all, when you sleeping with multiple men, according to the scripture, sex is marriage. So you're sleeping with multiple men, you're already going off. Then you get pregnant. Then you think that through your wickedness, through you being wicked, to fix it, to rectify it, the average day woman would think of aborting her baby, knowing that the father doesn't want to be involved. Because pretty much, the woman was being a hoe. So what man would want to step up and take on that burden of not just the child, but providing for that woman as well. When she opened her legs up to everybody. So, essentially that's the Lord putting you. The Lord is making to where you're blinded by your wickedness. Okay. Now let's jump to chapter 13 real quick, and start at verse 10. All right. It says, but miserable are they, and in dead things is their hope, who call them gods, which are the works of men's hands, gold and silver. Now we seen the depiction of Moloch. You know, they can make it gold, and these are dead things that are not alive, right? They can make it out of stone, they can make it out of wood. You know, that's a common thing. It says gold and silver, to shew art in, to resemble the resemblance of beasts. And there you have it. No. Salaki, yelling at my dog. And there you have it. Moloch resembles, it has the head of a bull, you know, so it resembles a beast. All right. Or a stone good for nothing, to work of the work of an ancient hand. You know, because this shit goes way back, right? You know. So, yeah, you know, the Canaanites crafted Moloch. That, like, this is old. This is old knowledge. Okay. Let's get verse 14 and start at 23. All right. And this is just one of the going into the practices, right? You know, Israelites were really doing this. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 23. But our people picked up these practices from other heathen nations, from other nations. I mean, look at Plant Parenthood. I mean, you know, our people then took that shit to the ninth power. You know, but it wasn't created by a Jake woman. It's created by an Edomite woman. All right? So it was adopted by our people. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 23 says, for whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, or used secret ceremonies, or made revealing of strange rites, you know, rites of passage, you know, again, the ideal of sacrificing your child, I mean, in today's aspect would be, you know, freedom, financial freedom, freedom to go abroad. It's kind of hard to travel and live your best life when you are carrying around a child, and you because you have to tend to that child is going to take and require so much of your time, effort, and money, right? So it says I mean, I really don't have to read the rest, but I mean, you know, the point is made. You know, so like I said, let me pull up another article. I had another article pulled up. I think it was right here. No, that's the one I read. Okay, here we go. It says Plant Parenthood pushes paganism nationalism with new Moloch worship center, and that's pretty much what it is, man. And then, you know, you could look at this article. I'm trying to find something that really stands out. It says I'm gonna read this paragraph right here. It says, I think it's the third paragraph. It says, but even among less overt abortion zealous, the religious connotations of abortion are manifested. All right, abortion is viewed as a sacred prerogative, the right to choose life or death for your baby is viewed as a healthy mandate. And that's what's going on. It says child sacrifice was a common practice in pagan cultures, including ancient Canaan. It says the idea was this: if parents offered up their children to a fiery deity, they would be blessed with bountiful crops, goods, fortune, financial prosperity. It says give up the child, reap the benefits. And also too, you see this in the entertainment world. You see this shit taking place in the entertainment world. So yeah, this is a real thing. So even though it's I'm gonna read this last paragraph. It says we've cleaned things up a bit, but Moloch worshippers would be proud of us. Nevertheless, babies are sacrificed, their proteinations not drowned out by banging drums, but by the sterile facet of a pharmacy of Planned Parenthood. So there you have it. It's just packaged. It's the same gift, just in a different package. And that's what you get. So man, that looking at it this way is very. I'm just speaking as a man, but I think you should look at it this way. Now I know in some cases, you got the R word, and then you're having that child's victim. Salakia. You become pregnant through really being a victim of the R word. But still, even that, it's still wrong. It's still wrong, and I just think our people really need to do the research and really come back to the scriptures, because you wouldn't know any of this had people not really divested their time in the scriptures. If people divest their time in the scriptures, you would connect the dots. You would know these simple things. All right? You could put two and two together. You can link what happened in the past, right? Compare and contrast to what's going on in the future. But with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to, again, give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And again, give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, taught us the truth and sincerity. And I hope this video was edifying to you, hopeful elect out there. To you, I say shalom.